you, everybody. Thank you, distinguished panel. And of course, I was tasked to do like a little Q&A, but I think I have only left 13 minutes. So I would see how much I can do. And I would give you only 1 minute to reply, and I would interrupt. So be ready for that. So of course, this discussion that we are having is complex, and of course, it cannot be condensed in one session. So we have to have, as you all suggested, we have to have this discussion like going on, and we have to have a series of discussions on this, as we will be talking about this topic in coming future, of course. Okay, so here we have 90% Pakistani people sitting. I heard all of you, most of you bashed Pakistan. You talked about the aid given to Pakistan, $6 billion. You know how much Pakistan lost? $126 billion in this war, with 83,000 lives. So that makes Pakistan the ally which US used at its best, in my opinion. And of course, all the Pakistanis here, they would agree with me. Of course, as a journalist, I cannot make this statement, but as a researcher or as somebody who has lived in that region, who has seen people, who have interacted with these people, I wanted to make this statement. So why is that, after all these years, the world knew that Afghanistan cannot be conquered by war? Britishers couldn't do it. Russia couldn't do it. Why? Okay, going to this war was a mistake. All the presidents since Bush, Obama, Trump, they all said that it's a mistake. So of course, Mr. Moran, I would give 1 minute to reply to this answer, that why is that Pakistan still an unreliable partner in the international relations with the United States?
I think you're generalizing. I don't think that Pakistan is necessarily an unreliable partner. My disappointment, Pakistan, is the lack of development of its resources, particularly its human resources. But we shouldn't have started the Iraq War. I don't think we should have started the Afghan War, where the Taliban had been suppressed. I didn't even disagree with Charlie Wilson when he armed the Mujahideen to go after Russia. I think it was hubris, so it was wrong. And we paid a price, and Pakistan paid a price as well.
Of course, just as you mentioned, US, we talk about that US lost $2.3 trillion, but when we talk about the overall cost of this war is $5.8 trillion, because all the other conflicts that stemmed from Afghan war, of course, President Obama, after they captured bin Laden and killed him, they wanted to come out, but then the Syria thing came out, ISIS came out, and then the cost of war increased. So, Mr. Tarar, you talked about President Trump, that he always opposed Afghan war, and he said he didn't want to go to the war. But let me remind you, 2015, when he started his presidential campaign, he changed his stance. Of course, it was a political stance, and he said that, of course, it was right to go into Afghanistan because they attacked us.
Here I wanted to go a little bit further back. He was against the Iraq war. He was against, other wars. And his objective, since he was a businessman, his philosophy was to achieve the American interest, or, whatever the objectives are, through the embargoes and sanctions. And he was very successful doing it in Iran. And even then, one time I wanted to recollect your memories, that Iran even then brought down one of the drone, and he said that since we haven't lost any American life, so he never reacted it. But I wanted to take half a minute with the Jim was talking about the relationship about Pakistan and America. I wanted to take it.
You still have 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds. The Mr. Tony Bilkner the day has said, what are the, during the 2 days congressional hearings, he said that our relationship in the future, it's not only words, it depends on the deeds, even not only Pakistan, Taliban. And here, he used the word the harboring, and he used the word the Haqqani group, and he makes sure, like earlier I told you, the relationship right now with the US and Pakistan depends on the success of Taliban in Afghanistan, which is not a good thing, but that's where we stand at. That is what the situation is, especially and in that region, what is going on with China especially, the growing up, and they are flexing their muscles since long time. Since the Obama period, they have gone to the South China Sea. Russia has gone to the Ukraine and Crimea, and Syria, they have built the naval base. And here you were talking about Pakistan. You forgot one thing. During the Obama period, there were 492 drone attacks on Pakistan as well. So the thing is Pakistan and US, they are very, very weird kind of relationship. NATO ally, one of the biggest ally. At the same time, they have 33 billion or 35 billion, but there is no check and balance on the sides, double games and things. So it has to be clarified, and I think here in this regard, I agree with the Secretary of State, Tony Bilkin. He said, in the future, we see what you do, what you deliver, and that's our relationship based on that. Okay.
Yes, I want to go to Senator. You want to have any comment on that? Since you have been the state senator of Virginia, of course, that's one of the most populated area for South Asians, and a lot of Pakistanis you interact with on a daily basis. So what have you gotten from them when you talk to them? And of course, this issue, this topic is not new. We've been especially talking about this in the last 20 years in the US. So what's your take on this?
Well, my take on it is that we have been involved in a tremendous overreach that has been very, very counterproductive. I noticed, interestingly, here we have Pakistan struggling to try to establish practical relationships with the government. They didn't really care who was the government. They wanted to have relations with the government. And John Bolton had an editorial in the Washington Post. He said, well, we've got to come down hard on Islamabad for its policy vis-a-vis the Taliban. Pakistan would be insane not to interact with the Taliban at this point. They've got to interact with the government in power. And I think we need a couple of weeks, several weeks. Thank you. Thank you.
I think not only Pakistan, the whole world needs to talk to them because they are forming a government.
Absolutely.
And that's what Pakistan has been saying, especially this regime in Pakistan. Always wanted to say that, okay, the war is not the answer. Political, diplomatic conversation or engagement is the answer in Afghanistan. So I hope the world will learn its lesson and people will engage with them instead of, segregating them or telling them, okay, you are so and so.
And I think we would do well to listen to Pakistan, not to simply talk at Pakistan, because they are intimately connected. Their border is at risk. It's right there. And we need to hear what they're saying. Everybody could say there are things I would change if I ruled Afghanistan. I would like to see more religious freedom. I could say the same thing about Pakistan. But I don't rule Afghanistan. I want practical answers. I don't want the hyperbole of the John Boltons saying we've got to beat up on Islamabad. I want to see us take practical steps. I want to see the Biden administration not completely abandon and to engage with Afghanistan for the benefit of everyone there, not just for the United States, but to benefit peace within the region. The worst thing in the world is to have them in, with the whole nation
Taking on
in
that
flames.
point, Senator, just wanted to elaborate a little bit because we have to finish this by 9 p.m. and then we will have a 15 minutes question answer and then people are hungry here. I believe like everybody is looking at us when they will finish. So I bet everybody is hungry. Yeah, we will finish by 9 and then at 9:15 we'll have the dinner. So we'll have 15 minutes. So I bet all the questions that will come from the audience will be about Pakistan. So before, so elaborating on your comment about President Biden, he said the era of nation building is ending. So does that mean that U.S. is giving away its stature as the superpower of the world? They don't want to engage in unnecessary wars and conflicts, and they want to, concentrate home cleaning, making lives of the Americans better as compared to going out and helping the world out.
Yes, I'll just split it in two. I won't take much time.
Yeah,
you
1
said
minute.
that about is Pakistan a reliable partner? The bigger question is USA a reliable partner? After winning the Soviet war, they just walked away. And then now again,
Can you bring it closer because people in the back
after USA, after winning the Afghan war, with the reliable partnership of Pakistan, not even a single soldier was injured. Now, nobody died. They only spent in those 10 years, only $2 billion they spent. And they won the war. Soviet Union was dismantled. And after this war also, look the way they left Afghanistan. They have even left their own interpreters there. What to talk of their planes and this PCs and so many equipment. I mean, very precious, high technological equipment, even drones. So I think Pakistan had been a reliable partner, but the more important question is USA a reliable partner? And the other question about Joe Biden, you said, America today, the perception has changed, at least for the time being, is no more on the center stage as center of global power. What is happening? Russia doesn't want China to be a solo superpower. So what will happen next? And USA does not know how to hold on to that status. So what's happening is that both these countries are working in a way, directly, indirectly. Instead of this country, this world has a solo super, let it be multipolar world.
Okay, we have last
Multipolar
1 minute.
world.
Thank you so much. And of course, we'll go to the question answer in 1 minute. So any of you who wants to answer this, you talked about Iran, Russia, and China in that region. So of course, we'll have a lot of questions about Pakistan. So I wanted to leave you guys with your concluding comments and one question. What role do you see China, Russia, and Iran play in the region in coming in the recent future, coming future? And your concluding remarks with that. I'll start with Jim Moran.
Well, they're going to play a greater role because of the vacuum that we have.
Can you please
allowed.
pass him the mic?
China, Russia, and Iran are going to play a greater role because of the vacuum that we have created in terms of world leadership. They're authoritarian nations. They don't observe human rights. They're threatened by any real democracy. And I don't think that it's a good thing for the rest of the world. But we've created that vacuum. China, Russia, and Iran are going to fill it. And I think we have only ourselves to hold responsible for that.
Thank you, Mayor. We have 30 seconds. Mr.
I
Tarar.
believe U.S. has to stop the role of ATM of the world. So now I think the time has come of accountability. So we have to be very careful paying the other countries and not being abused. But at the same time, we cannot forget our allies, and we have to focus on Iran. But we have to have a different philosophy now with Afghanistan. Matter of fact, like they have, like I told you, since the Russian came up there. Corruption is one of the biggest challenges in Afghanistan, and make sure they don't abuse the American taxpayers' dollars in the future. But in 21st century, I think political solution is the thing. That's the future.
Senator, just quick remark on Russia,
Yes.
China, and Iran, and then concluding remarks.
Yes, I think clearly those countries, China, Russia, Iran, Pakistan, will play the dominant role. I see it as a good thing. They have the greatest immediate interest, and I'm just hoping that the United States will continue to engage, because I think the resources that are required are greater than what those countries can do combined.
Thank you very much. I think when you talk of these countries, the approach is going to be regional. Next, because of the world is transitioning from unipolar to multipolar world. So the different alliances, different groupings are being made. And what I foresee, Pakistan, Iran, Turkey, maybe even Qatar and China, they will be in one group. And then in the same way, other countries will make their own group. And they might be getting the support of Russia too, because Russia certainly is the next Taliban. Russia is more happy than the Taliban of this what happened, this tragedy, and that's very sad, but it's very true.
Thank you, all the distinguished panelists. Of course, now we will open the floor for questions, but the ground rule again, I'm setting. No comments. If you have a question, please identify who do you want to ask this question. And before we do that, I want to acknowledge, of course, Mr. Mazachuktai, whose place is here. Of course, we are sitting. Thank you so much for your efforts. And of course, I'm coming to you with the first question he will ask. I also wanted to acknowledge the Kashmiri American Pakistani community here. Thank you so much, Kashmiri Americans. Thank you for being here. And Dr. Tariq Shahab is here. Thank you so much, Dr. Tariq. He was in Doha helping all the evacuees who was coming from Afghanistan and treating them before they get to American soil. So with this, I will bring you the mic, ask your question in 30 seconds, and then I will, whoever you point out, I will go to them and take their reaction. And you again have still only 1 minute to react because the dinner is ready.
Thank you, gentlemen. Very enlightenment and great program. Thank you, Papa, for hosting. I really appreciate it. God bless America first. All I hear is Pakistan being bashed tonight. As American citizen and a taxpayer, been here for 42 years. My taxpayer dollar, my children, my family, and all of us taxpayer dollar have been spent on these wars. 20 years ago, when United States went to Afghanistan for war, I ran into Robert Oakley, then ambassador to Pakistan in the 80s. I asked him that question. He replied, I hope that we will not abandon Pakistan as we abandoned them in the previous invasion, Russian invasion against Pakistan and Afghanistan. We abandoned Pakistan then. Pakistan was victim of 3 million refugees. Pakistan inherited many, many problems, and still we asking Pakistan to do more. And I believe that Dr. Nisar Chaudhry said that Pakistan is not just the only reliable partner, but America can be a reliable partner. Can you tell me that having all this that occurred today, and now Pakistan been abandoned and Afghanistan been abandoned again for the second time, and Pakistan is one biggest country that going to inherit the problems. So can Pakistan and United States work together as a reliable partner to achieve peace that we couldn't achieve with the war, which Imran Khan, currently Prime Minister, said 20 years ago, the war is not the answer in Afghanistan. Thank you very much.
And who do you want to answer this question? Anybody, floor is yours. Mr. Moran or Senator?
I would just say, yes, I think we can do it. We're in a transitional period. There's a lot of emotion. A lot of people are very disappointed because we have pulled out. There are soldiers who have lost their legs, and families who've lost their sons. And so it's very difficult to make this transition. But I think within the next couple of months, we'll see a calming taking place. And I very much hope that we work closely with Pakistan, because I see them as the intellectual leaders in many ways in leading the way and figuring out what are the things that must be done to make this work.
Thank you, Senator. Anybody else want to comment on this before we go to another question? 30 seconds, Mr. Chaudhry.
You see, the question he asked, I will say that Imran Khan is a good person, good-natured person. He has good intentions. He has many good qualities. He's original, natural, comes across very nicely. But certainly, it is now on his own judgment that he exercises to deal with this issue of Afghanistan. Because Pakistan don't have think tanks. Pakistan don't have such thing. Even the diplomatic corps, their performance always had been dismal, or rather dismal. So Imran Khan has to count on his own judgment. And this is a defining moment, not only for USA, even for Imran Khan, even for Pakistan. And I hope they steer their course. They sharpen their navigational skills, and they steer their course intelligently, keeping the goal in mind. And US-Pakistan relation, they can always manage it. We still share many common goals still many common ideals: democracy, prosperity, peace, stability. All these things are common goals, and we share them. Thank you.
Thank you. And next question. Please introduce yourself. No comments, just the question.
Hello, my question is to Sajid Tarar. Sir, you presented very bleak picture of Pakistan. And okay, when we see US left, majority of Pakistani, they were not happy. We were not happy, the Taliban came. But you left from the picture India's role. Pakistanis are happy because India left. Pakistan's role, security issue is with India, not with the United States. United States issues are with China or other countries. So my question is, why did you present the bleak picture about Pakistan, ignoring India?
Well, very good question, frankly. I wanted to tell you what is going on with India. Right now, with the new nexus in the area, Pakistan has put all their baskets in Chinese basket. They have put all of their eggs in Chinese basket. But here, what the Indians are doing, I wanted to take for one thing. The Modi Saab spoke at the Asian Economic Forum. Australian 2-2 meeting happened. Modi Saab is coming here to speak at the General Assembly. He is meeting Mr. Biden one-on-one. After that, what is Quad meeting? Or after that is the G20. So they are programmed, and let me tell you, the Jay Shankar's trips all over the world, remarkable, remarkable. So the new nexus is in the area. The relationship they are tilting, Australian, they are tilting towards India. So the new nexus is in the new future, the regional thing is that Pakistan and only China. And here, China has no list of allies. He hasn't fought a single war for their allies. All they do is economic deals, contracts, no nation building process. Their history is very limited. So the thing is this, Indians, since you mentioned it up, I'm not bashing Pakistan. Pakistan is my motherland. And I'm a big fan of Imran Khan, no question about it. But they have to step up. They have to start a campaign, international campaign, to tell people what we want, to tell the world what we want, what is our future. If we have changed our mind, how? Prove that thing. So my issue is this, I wanted to have a compatibility with India. So imagine I just told you that, and I forgot SARC, the BRICS. Matter of fact, I forgot the BRICS. Modi Saab spoke at the BRICS as well. So what are we doing? We just did one thing, a dossier.
Okay, let's move on, and we have only 5 minutes left. I will try to take a couple of more questions, and please be brief with your reaction. Johnny Bashir Saab.
Good evening. Mr. Moran, I have a very brief question. I worked with you for many years. I was 15 years old when I came over here. I'm a proud American Pakistani. My question is, just with one word, please tell me how many countries United States have attacked since World War II. Sir, I have a question to all three of you. We are talking about how much money United States has lost, taxpayers' money. What about the human life? None of you have any heart. I'm sorry to say that. Bashing Pakistan, coming with a solution what to do. Please tell me how many people you have killed in Afghanistan, how many innocent children have been killed in Iraq, Yemen, Syria, and Libya, all those countries, especially in Afghanistan. How many innocent people have you killed? Thank you.
Please don't get personalized. They are representing their country, not... You can ask America how many they killed, not them. All right. So please, that's why I'm asking everybody, no comments, please. Just ask your question, and any of you want to reply to that? Here you go.
Yes, I appreciate the question, because it shows the fundamental problem that we have had throughout the Middle East, and I include Afghanistan in the greater Middle East. If you look at it, there are estimates as high as 2 million people in Iraq. 500,000 have died in Syria. Syria was the most progressive of all of the Arab countries, had the greatest women's rights, the greatest religious freedom. We went in, we supported Al-Qaeda. To this very day, the United States supports Al-Qaeda in Idlib province, Syria. We have put sanctions on Syria because we're aiding al-Qaeda. And here we are complaining, well, there might be a handful of al-Qaeda that would come back in Afghanistan. Well, give me a break. The biggest concentration of al-Qaeda in the world is in Syria, in that one province, and we're backing them up financially, arms, diplomacy. It's very hypocritical. We attacked Libya for absolutely no reason. Colonel Gaddafi, whatever you think of him, he was immensely popular among the people, and he took care of the people. He told his own parents, he said, many people were living in tents, and he said, I will not move my own parents from the tents until every other person has a home. And we obliterated the country. So yes, we've got some severe problems there. We need to shut down that entire Middle East fiasco, in my opinion.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We have 2 minutes left. Okay, 15 seconds, Dr. Chaudhry.
I just, Johnny's question. This question he should actually ask the President of United States of America and not these 4 poor panelists. It's a very sweeping statement when you tell them they don't have a heart. They have a heart, soul, and mind.
All right, no cross-talking. Let's get another question from Dr. Bisma, female representation.
Hello, everybody. First of all, thank you so much, Papa, and thank you so much for each of you that it is very enlightening and a wonderful discussion. And we have our new generation here and we young generation as well. So it is very good that we should conduct such type of discussions, and thanks. So the question, or it may be more like a statement, and I think this is the time of the need. Since we have said that Pakistan has a policy, Pakistan has mentioned it several times that communication instead of war may be the best strategy. So I would like to convey this, that I wish, or I don't know if America or European countries, they already have thought about creating some sort of alliance. I mean, I'm just giving an idea, maybe this idea can flow. Creating some sort of regional alliance, including Russia, China, Iran, Pakistan, and with the facilitation, moderators, or not maybe moderator, initiator, or somebody who can take initiative, because I think there is going to be some instability, as we said, that those people. The question is that, you took me at the end. So is there any thoughts, or is there something going on, because you all are official people, very well connected?
Thank you very much. That was a long statement. Do you have any reaction to that? Quickly, sir.
It's not a reaction because dinner is ready, but before we leave for the dinner, I wanted to say last thing. Let's pray for the 13 soldiers, those have lost their lives. Let's pray for the people, those are US aid workers, they were there. And let's pray for our soldiers, those are still there. Let's pray for the American lives, or even the green card holders there in Afghanistan. And let's pray for that. God bless America, and make sure that we are good Americans, we are supporting Americans, and we are beyond the party lines, Democrat or Republicans, but we are Americans. And God bless America.
Thank you so much. And I think with this statement, we should conclude, because people have already stood up. Because I promised 9:15, it is 9:15. Dinner is served. Please help yourself. Thank you, our panelists, Dr. Nisar Chaudhry, Senator Richard, Sajid Tarar Saab, and Mr. Jim Moran. Thank you so much. And thank you on behalf of Pakistani American Press Association and Pakistani American Community. Thank you so much. And please have a good evening, and go talk to each other. Whatever question you have, ask each other, or you can ask the panelists on one-on-one. Thank you so much.